Why high-performing salons still don't build real profit. Let me start by saying something clearly. You can run a high-performing salon, win awards, be fully booked, generate strong top-line revenue, and still not be building wealth. And most salon owners don't realize it because busy feels powerful, and revenue feels impressive, and growth feels like progress. But revenue is not the same thing as profit. And profit is what builds actual freedom. And isn't that what you got into business for? Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a record month and thought, that was a great month, but your bank account didn't feel dramatically different at all? Have you ever increased revenue just to see payroll increase right along with it? Have you ever grown your team, expanded your space, raised your prices, and still felt like you were maintaining a bigger machine instead of actually getting ahead? That gap, it's not your lack of effort, it's lack of structure. Back in 2009, I bought my first hair salon. We were doing well, we were winning awards, recognized as one of the best salons in Vancouver. We had industry accolades, strong team, strong reputation, and from the outside, powerhouse. I was working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, producing, leading, and building. Then I got pregnant with my first daughter. And for the first time, I stepped away from the chair, not because business was weak, but because I wanted to build a life, not just a salon. And that's when reality showed up. Guess what? Payroll bounced. An award-winning salon in Vancouver with strong revenue bounced payroll. That was the moment I understood something most salon owners never articulate. I hadn't built an asset. I had built a high revenue job. It worked as long as I was there. That's not scale, that's dependency. Here's the mistake high performers make. You assume the solution is more revenue, more bookings, more marketing, more top line growth. Let me give you a better way of seeing it. Imagine your business is a bucket, and every dollar that gets earned gets poured in that bucket like water. Now imagine the bucket has small holes in it, or maybe big holes, maybe not obvious holes, but structural holes. Payroll that floats too high, pricing that hasn't been engineered based on anything, retail margins that aren't tracked intentionally, owner compensation that isn't structured correctly or structured at all. Those are examples of leaks. So, what do most salon owners do? They pour more water in, they grow revenue, they push harder. But the bucket has holes, so more water just drains faster. Revenue increases, payroll increases, expenses increase, and guess what? Stress increases. That is the trap, and there's nothing left to show for it. You're not lacking in effort. You're pouring into a structure that was never engineered for profit. The shift for me was simple. Stop pouring more water and seal the leaks. Engineer payroll guardrails, separate and track categories properly, set profit targets before revenue goals, design owner compensation intentionally. When you seal the leaks, revenue becomes leverage. You actually start taking home a return on your investment. Let me say that again. You are an entrepreneur that takes a risk. You deserve a return on investment. And that's when your salon shifts from a high-paying job to a asset. There's only two types of salons, high revenue jobs and engineered assets. High revenue jobs are depending on the owner's production. Engineered assets produce profit whether the owner is there or not. And here's the dangerous part. You can operate at a high level for 10 years, win awards, grow revenue, expand your team, and still build very little equity because revenue without retained profits does not create wealth. Structure does. So, here is the real question. If you stepped away for 60 days, would profit hold? Would profit grow? Or would everything tighten up? If you don't know that answer with certainty, that's the gap. And that's why I want to invite you to something. If you are running a respected salon, you're generating real revenue, you're leading a team, and you know there should be more left over at the end of the month, I want to invite you to a free profit strategy call. Now, let me tell you what that actually is. This is not a motivational call. It's not a generic coaching conversation. It's a structural evaluation. We look at your payroll percentage, margin breakdown, owner compensation structure, and we determine one thing. Are you operating as a job or are you building an asset? If you're still in startup mode or not yet generating consistent revenue, this probably isn't the right fit for you. But if you're operating at a high level and you want your revenue to finally translate into profit, then this conversation will be super valuable for you. You've already proven that you can generate revenue. Now it's about whether that revenue is structured correctly and that you can keep some of it and start to build your long-term wealth. If that matters to you, let's book a call, let's seal those leaks and engineer this business correctly.